My experience living in Los Angeles by JaidenAnimations.
9 years ago, James and I talked about what it was like living in our home state, Arizona. I honestly don't remember most of what we said in that video. I tried to rewatch it as a refresher and maybe a little trip down memory lane, but turns out after 5 seconds, I'd rather be guillotined. No. Eyes on me. You clicked on this video, you're staying on this video. No funny ideas, all right? The other day, I was in a store trying to buy a plain black shirt that was locked up behind those stupid box lockers. So I had to ring an employee for a single shirt. A few minutes later, someone came by. All right, what can I... Oh my gosh. Are you JaidenAnimations? Yeah. No way. I love your videos. Can I get a photo? Yeah. Thanks so much. I didn't expect to see you here. Are you visiting? Oh, no, I live here. You're not in Arizona anymore? And that's when it dawned on me, there is a giant portion of my audience who will not get updated on some parts of my life if I don't explicitly say it in one of my animations.
So this is actually something that I've run into, especially when I try to make sure, like, I'm trying to, like, make a mass announcement or something like that. Whether it's, like, the Kip Quips channel being, like, where the quote-unquote yellow text videos went, right? Or the fact that I have something like, you know, a Let's Play / VOD channel, right? Or that I stream on the Purple app, right? Like, that's just part of the business, unfortunately, is that you can make several announcements, you can even do videos, but someone will always be left out, unfortunately. And that's, I don't know, that's something I've tried trying to figure out. I've tried to figure this out for a couple years at this point, but the unfortunate answer is not everyone will be on the same page. But this also is good fuel for videos like this.
So the guy left without unlocking the box, so I had to wait another 5 minutes for him to come back and get the shirt. So yeah, to anyone who didn't get the memo, I've been in California for the past 6.5 years, specifically Los Angeles. I honestly can't believe it's been that long already, because that means for the past 6.5 years, I've been doing nothing but complaining about it the entire time.
Yeah, it's really funny. So I used to live in San Bernardino, which is not super far from LA, right? For those who aren't from Cali, San Bernardino, but it's San Bernardino, let's be real. Parents lived in San Bernardino all their lives. I ended up moving up to Idaho when I was about 10. I mean, I lived up near their Big Bear, let's put it that way, San Bernardino Mountains. So my sister as well, not to provide too much personal information, is in and around California, Southern California, right? Purposely obfuscating details. But I sent her this, and we actually had a back and forth that I have pulled up, which is just adding more context to this, which was really funny to me.
I believe in the compliment sandwich system, though. Not everything about moving to California has been bad. For example, the weather is great. It's always sunny, which, you know, Arizona is too.
Okay, so on that, it's wild when in Idaho, it is so hot that it feels like I'm in Glendora or Doherty. Like, Glendora 20 years ago is me walking outside of my front door right now. I mean, some places in Idaho, specifically in Boise, I've noticed, we do have the one-story housings, one-story buildings. Like, I don't know, it's very strange, because it feels like the same amount of heat that I've experienced in the past.
But, like, in a bad way. California doesn't hit the casual 118 everything outside melts and dies degrees like back home. It's vacation weather all the time. I like that part.
So my sister did actually offer clarification. She's also less than an hour from the coast. The valleys of San Bernardino or Orange County get those record temperatures. Mountain I lived on, the hottest part is Woodland Hills in the San Fernando Valley she lives in, which gets 115 in summer.
The drivers here are assholes. Yeah. Arizona isn't all sunshine and rainbows in the driving department either. When I was learning to drive as a teenager, my mom told me to never honk at people no matter what, because there's a chance they'll just shoot me. But because of the sheer volume of people
because of this, I've had to stop actually honking at people, even if they deserve it.
On California roads all the time, it is a completely different beast. And every single one of them is driving to go kick babies because they hate their fellow man. Compassion does not exist on the California freeway. And by that, I mean blinkers. You know, the very helpful and necessary communication tool that tells people you'd kindly like to move into the lane. It's a sign of weakness here. If you even think about turning your blinker on, every single car in your vicinity will speed up and refuse to let you merge because they cannot handle the idea of a different car being in front of them.
And this, honestly, it feeds into, my aunt is a very aggressive driver. She's bumper to bumper, right? My mom has habitually just been like, oh, don't go driving with your aunt. Like, she's pretty aggressive. But that's also because this is what she has to drive through. I love that this is mentioned because this is so true. I'm so glad I never had to drive in it, but man, LA just, not just LA, just SoCal, driving around in it is wild from everything I understood. Suddenly the more aggressive driving mannerisms do make sense.
How can they get to their destination faster if a car that was in front of them in a different lane suddenly shifts to the side 12 feet? People will go out of their way to merge into the lane just to speed past you and spit on your windshield. When I turn my blinker on, which I still do because I refuse to let this barbaric driving culture corrupt me,
Yeah, honestly based.
car will speed up and then merge in front of me. If you need to be in my lane and I need to be in yours, we literally have to stay at our same speeds and shift. It's simple. There's no point in you blocking my merge just to merge into my lane anyway.
No. See, it's a display of power, right? It's a display of I go faster, and therefore I get to my destination sooner, and I clearly must inconvenience you.
Oh my god, it pisses me off so much. They do it all the time. If I had no money and got $1 every single time someone took advantage of my blinker, I'd have enough money to move out of this godforsaken state. One time I turned my blinker on, checked my blind spot, and in the amount of time it took for me to look back at the road and start merging, a car way behind me had sped up so fast that my car's auto detection had to cut my merge off so I wouldn't hit them.
I wonder how that appears for insurance, though, because how would that appear? I would assume the driver in the rear would be at fault because if I understand it correctly, not that I'm an insurance agent, right? That rear end collisions, usually the party who rear ends someone else is generally found to be at fault. But like, yeah, we need to not reward things like this, right? Like, absolutely. And this happens in other states from California, right? There's bad drivers everywhere, right? Dude, it rains here in Idaho and people forget to drive, right? People are gonna be like, oh, it's them Californian drivers, them Californians, right? No, I've seen native-born Idahoans, as some people would say. I've seen you guys forget how to drive too. Let's be real, it's an everybody thing. Just adjust speed. It's raining, hydroplaning, slow down. It's not hard. I'm sure Texas with the potholes, and I'm sure Texas has their own issues. I'm sure like everywhere is going to have driver issues. This is the specific brand of, California aggression, which actually leads into one of the other things my sister ended up clarifying, where the smash and grab rates here are insane. No criminal penalty if it's under $900, so small businesses cannot exist here, which leads into why a single shirt was locked behind glass, right? So and this is where this is going to start getting into political commentaries and stuff from commenters. I honestly heavily discourage that. This is not the place for this, if I'm being completely honest. More so as a matter of fact of like, Jaiden experiences this, my sister experiences this, right? Like, you can only have so many penalties for so many people in such a confined area, but penalties are going to be ultimately what ends up fixing some of this. So, and that's move to whatever state you feel best suits your interest, right? Move to Texas if you want Texas things. Move to, Iowa if you want corn, right? So it's going to be interesting.
And then that car honked at me!
Yep.
I will kill us both. All right, the drivers suck, but at least I'm only going a few miles. Not only am I forced to drive alongside these bozos, I'm forced to drive alongside them for way longer than I should need to. The traffic is so genuinely bad, I daydream of becoming a better sprinter to arrive at places quicker because it is genuinely not far from the realm of realism. Either that or get one of those monster snowplow attachments.
No, hear me out. You're an adult with adult money. Get the life-size Garchomp or Gardevoir plushie, or both, stick it in your passenger side, and then just use the carpool lane. For legal clarification, this is not legal advice, right? Like, don't do this, right? This is clearly a joke. Or is it? Yes, it's clearly a joke. Or is it? You put the blow-up doll in the passenger seat. It's a carpool. Oh, God, I'm getting canceled for this.
I mean, seriously, 10 miles? I should not be in the car longer than 20 minutes. Nope. Everyone here loves driving 30 over the speed limit anyway. I don't even know what the holdup is. Also, a little tip. If you wanted to find a place to park when you get to your destination, you shouldn't even be driving in the first place.
I hear the DMV. Okay. LA DMV. What are your horror stories in the comments? I love seeing them. I've heard the LA DMV is one of the just wildest places you will ever experience. It is so long.
Parking doesn't exist here. It's a myth and a lie. 95% of all locations have 0 parking lots. There's never street parking, and if you happen to be a lucky enough soul to find a spot, you can't slow down to parallel park into it because people are either gonna yell at you for clogging the lane or ram into your bumper. It's just an evil trick. So your only choice is to find a parking garage that costs like $20. One time, my friends and I drove to a One Piece live symphony at the Dolby Theater and decided to park in its parking garage. Oh, what an obvious mistake. Do you want to know how long it took us to get out of that garage after the show when everyone was leaving?
Yeah, that's going to be unfortunate. It is also worth noting as well, I'm going to make sure to blur said city in question. I love how my sister also responds, Jaiden lives in, redacted, a rich-ass fucking area in LA County, not LA City. So that is also clarification as well. Like, the county versus city is a little bit of a differentiator here. No, like, leaving early, unless you leave early, like you're just gonna get foobarred. So when I say that I would visit California, it's because, dude, I want to go get like what is it, a Tops chili cheese dog? My dad grew up on those, right? Go to Shakey's Pizza, right? I would love to go to in Duarte. There's oh God, what's the name of the Italian place? I talk about it. Clairol's. I'd go to Clairol's, right? I hear they're really good. My grandfather, my father both ate there. We used to have a Shakey's Pizza here in Idaho. I think it closed down. Hometown Buffet is a huge fan of. I miss Glendora. I think had Foster's Donuts. I'd have to remember what was in Glendora specifically. But like, I would visit. I'd go to Laguna Niguel. I would do stuff there. I would not stay. I would not live. I could not go back and live in California.
2.5 hours!
Yep.
We parked in the designated parking garage for a show and paid 2.5 hours of our life on top of real life money. So what if you don't have a car? Then you don't have to deal with any of this, right? Well, you can't walk anywhere. What do you think this is? Any other country? You can get a bike or a motorcycle, but again, with the quality of drivers around, you might as well play Russian roulette every time the wheels touch asphalt. Maybe with the right setup and some expendable funds, you could just get around with rideshare apps. But man, getting an Uber is so expensive out here. It might as well be considered a luxury in itself. If you're taking an Uber either to or from the LAX airport.
Oh no, I've been to LAX once. I don't know. I didn't have that bad of an experience. I'm trying to remember when I went to LAX last. That would have been for my cousin's wedding back in like, oh God, I was still in middle school. Yeah, I remember now because I got really badly sunburnt and we went to a different hotel because the hotel we were at on the beach on the shore of Laguna Niguel sucked. And that's when I actually first watched Code Geass on Adult Swim. Yeah, it was episode 7. It was Suzaki rescuing Euphemia. Wow. Okay, yeah. So, I mean, we're talking like 2009, I was a freshman in high school. Like 2007 was when I last went. Wow, it does not feel like it's been that long.
I guarantee it'll cost at least $100. And the drivers don't get like any of that, by the way. Once I had a driver complain to me about the ride rates the whole trip, which was not asked for to begin with. He said he had a client once trying to go to LAX and they were being charged $100, like I said, but the driver was only gonna get $30 from the trip. So he offered to charge $80 cash for them to do it outside the app as a win-win. Don't ever take this type of offer, kids. That was incredibly dangerous.
No, do not. Like there's a number of safety reasons I could like, no. If you want to be safe, make sure everything is in the app, make sure it's logged, make sure that you have the correct person, the correct vehicle, make and model. I think they might have license plate as well. I haven't used Uber, honestly. If I'm being fully transparent, right? But there are things that do arise from doing things off app, and that can put you in some harm. Not saying everyone's out to get you, not saying that this person wasn't going to be disingenuous. Jaiden's absolutely correct here in that this is a very dangerous thing to do, and make sure everything is logged in the app.
But that's just where the landscape of Uber is here. Also, fun little tip, never tell any drivers the place you're going to or from is your actual home. This is for everywhere, not just California.
This is also a safety thing as well, especially if there's probing questions that are asked. Hey, you traveling alone? I know a shortcut that goes off of the app, or that, I know a side street that'll get us there 10 minutes faster. It's a safety thing. Be sure to be aware of probing questions. Don't be like hyper vigilant, like don't stress about it, right? But like just be aware when someone asks, hey, are you alone? So where do you live, right? Like just questions that generally aren't socially, like social etiquette doesn't deem as acceptable for most situations, right? Just be aware, be vigilant.
Sure, if they ask, it's normally small talk, but when it's not, you're in danger.
Yeah.
Yikes. Now that guy won't leave your driveway. And the police say they can't do anything because he hasn't actually committed a crime yet.
He is not trespassing. And even, in a state like Idaho, the police still couldn't do something like that. So for the crowd that's going to be like, well, that's why I carry, that also doesn't work, because if I had someone standing across the street right now and they were just staring at me, there's nothing. What are the police going to do? Tell them to go away. What crime is being committed? Now, if they trespass, if they break into your home, right? Now it's a little bit of a different ball game. But yes, like this is quite literally why I binge like Mr. Nightmare, Midnight Nightmare, Lazy Masker, why I binge that type of content, because it familiarizes myself with what to look out for. If somebody is outside of your door, just take a mental note of it. Like, make sure you're locking your doors, make sure that you're being safe, right? If you feel like you need to. And I know I hear police at this point, and I welcome any police officers in the comment section who recommend, sometimes install motion lights and cameras and stuff like that. Ring doorbells, right? You'll see some wild stuff on Ring doorbells, okay? Sometimes people will be trying to break in your door. They'll be trying to take a screwdriver to your door. Sometimes you see a crackhead stealing your light bulbs, okay? That's just what crackheads do. Ring doorbells are wonderful.
Just lie and say it's a friend's place or something. It's not worth the gamble, and lying to strangers is fun. That was a free survival hint from the friendly neighborhood YouTuber. Put that one in the back of your pocket. Speaking of LAX, because I brought it up earlier, that place is actual hell on earth. If someone gets sent there after death, I would consider it a viable punishment for being a bad person. But innocent people are forced to be subjected to it every single day, and it's inhumane. You have every single asshole with a plane ticket in the entire city and beyond enter through the same stupid entrance, forced to drive through the same loop bumper to bumper until they get to their specific gate. No branching paths, no attempts to categorize the types of arrivals, just a single slaughterhouse line like cattle. But in normal slaughterhouse lines, the cattle don't hate each other. I was talking about bad merging before. It is legitimately survival of the fittest in the LAX horseshoe. Absolutely no one will let you merge lanes ever unless you threaten to fist fight them right there on the concrete. One time I sat with my blinker on in traffic that was not moving for 15 minutes straight, and a dude still refused to let me start merging once cars started inching forward. I had to sit there making direct eye contact with him until he was uncomfortable enough to let me get in front of him.
There we go. Assert your dominance. That's how that works. Oh, that's beautiful. I've noticed things like this in Idaho too, where people will just match your speed and not let you merge over on like the highway, right, or the freeway, right? Like, it blows my mind that even in Idaho, people are just like, well, no, I'm not going to let you get over. And I'm like, bro, I will speed up. Or like they speed up and match speed with you, or you try to slow down, but then there's cars behind you in both their lane and your lane. It's just like, oh my God, please end my suffering.
It is personal. I am not the same person when I'm in the LAX horseshoe. None of us are.
Valid.
Some dudes in the 1960s decided they wanted everyone that ever planned to visit LA to suffer instantly when they got here.
Makes sense.
And they simply got away with it. I've spent so much time talking about traffic and the airport. I haven't even talked about living in LA yet. Well, that part sucks too. Everything is so absurdly expensive here, it's almost comedic. Almost. Maybe raise the prices of food like $10 more and I'll start to chuckle. Now a burrito's like $40. I haven't even had food out here that's blown my mind. Sure, it's not bad, but when eating out can get this expensive, I expect something more to write home about. There are some really fancy restaurants around, but I shouldn't have to spend even more money to eat a meal that makes me go, wow, I will remember this.
My aunt is a huge fan of Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. We have one in Idaho. I went once, and I got like a $30 mac and cheese there. Like, I didn't even get the steak. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm not a fan. Like, I'm sure they have a good business premise. I'm sure a lot of people love them. I'm sure that, the people who can, regularly afford Ruth's Chris have a good time there. Yeah, just wasn't super blown away, if I'm being honest.
Become a common pastime for some people to pull up Zillow and look at all the really crazy expensive multi-million-dollar mansions, fantasizing about what they would do if they were to live in the craziest of homes. But the equivalent of that for me and my friends here is
actual
to look
apartments.
at normal homes that are just not in California.
Oh, yep, it's not just normal homes as well. My sister makes good money. A majority of her income still goes to paying basic rent on an apartment. It is disgusting. Whoop, hello. Sorry about that.
Oh, look at that one. 3 bed, 2 bath. For like $2,500 a month.
Wild.
That's insane. Here, the same thing can go upwards of $7,000.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I'm very lucky and fortunate enough to not have to worry about finances as much. I can afford to live in a more expensive place here. It's not gonna break my bank. But at the same time, I'd like to still be relatively smart with money. Sure, I tend to splurge on plushies and trinkets. Haha.
Dude, I buy stupid stuff all the time. Okay, I have so much unpainted Warhammer, it's not even funny. I bought like a grand of Yu-Gi-Oh the other month. I'm still getting stuff shipped in. I wanted to build Shining Sark. Get off my back, old man. Like, yeah, we can buy dumb things, right? But like, it's also like when you go somewhere and it's like, okay, but do I buy this? Oh, what was I looking at? So I'm getting into fishing, right? And I'm like, do I buy this $150 pre-built rod, right? I mean, I can't remember what it was offhand. I'd have to think about it. I'd have to look up the pictures again. But it was like rod and reel 150. And then I went to like Sportsman's Warehouse. Not that I'm affiliated, right? Went to Sportsman's Warehouse and I'm like, this is an ugly stick that's like 9 foot. I'm gonna get that. And then I looked another aisle as well, and there was another ugly stick that like I think it was marketed as a cat fishing ugly stick, and it just had rod, reel, like $60, right? I don't need no high tier fishing rod, okay? Just give me an ugly stick. Just call it good. Pretty simple, okay? The thing, is it gonna work? Is it gonna be efficient? Is it gonna last a long time, right? It's why I bought how many Game Boy Advance SPs and stuff, right? Or like just being smart with money scales up. Yeah, buy dumb things. Buy things. Nobody's saying not to, right? But like, be willing to shop around. Be willing to be, a little frugal at times, right? Do you necessarily need to go get Ruth's Chris Steakhouse again this weekend? Or could you just buy a couple T-bones and marinate it for 2 or 3 days and then make something that might be equivalent or better? Which one of these would be more cost effective? At that point, it becomes a benefit of, actual time and money intersecting, right?
Jaiden's buying another Miku figure, but outside of that stuff, I'm really not spending money on anything else. I'm not into luxury cars or clothes or any of that type of culture. It's trinkets, plushes, and admittedly, a little too much DoorDash. But I have a job that I can perform literally anywhere in the entire world.
This right here, this is what I'm saying. So when I'm looking at like apartments or houses and stuff, I'm like, bro, I could be in F-off like North Dakota. I could be in Alaska. Does that have fast internet, fast and reliable internet? If yes, cool. I can literally work anywhere. Like what I do, I can literally go anywhere. It's great. I'm still working on the mobile setup, right? That one's kind of been a work in progress, and I got to make sure my mic levels are set up correctly and stuff. But like, yeah, I could just be on the road in an RV somewhere and be doing Kip React. It is quite literally like part of why doing what I do is a dream job, right? I always feel guilty because I react to content, and I always feel like I should be doing more, and subsequently burning myself out because I do bite off way more than I can physically chew, right? But people want to see these reactions. People want to have fun. Who am I to deny them?
And I'm sitting here wasting extra costs on living in one of the most expensive cities in America. It feels bad. And I don't know if you picked up on it yet, but I don't even really like it here all that much. So,
a little bit.
Why? Why do I choose to burn extra money just to exist in LA? The
convenience. Being able to save up until you can afford someplace somewhere else. You also have access to really cool things like Anaheim, California, right? My sister knows exactly, my family knows exactly where Anaheim is, right? Is where the Pokemon World Championship was this year, right? You have access to cool things like that. You have access to like specialty shops and venues and stuff. You have access to Hollywood should you want to go there. I don't know why you'd go to Hollywood anymore. I know my mother went to go see Dio in the 80s when he was still performing, but like, I don't know a single reason why I'd go to Hollywood.
Single reason is all of my friends are here, and I'd happily shovel extra funds into a giant furnace to be near them because that's what makes a place feel like a true home. But all of my friends are also content creators that can work anywhere too. And if we all just banded together and decided to move somewhere else, that would sure be swell.
Dude, I keep saying this, bro. Where's my gamer frat house? I keep saying this. It's been so funny, okay? Like actual like behind the scenes Kitbit. It's been so funny to pitch to people a cost-effective way of like doing what I do and doing what we want to do is like, yeah, just go split like a house like 4 ways, right? Like just split a gamer house 4 ways. Everyone has their own stuff. Everyone has their chores. Everyone pays into it. Should they want to, leave at any point? Sure. Just, just buy them out of their stake in the house, right? Like literally do like gamer frat house status where people drink until 2 a.m., but then they wake up and then clean everything up and then go to work or do things, right? People exercising, people like, like me, having a room or a place to do shit, and then just like, all right, this stuff's just gonna upload all night, right? And people go, nah, that's cringe. And then like clockwork, like 2 months later, after they think about like the logistics of it, they're like, actually, a gamer frat house doesn't sound like a bad idea, actually. I mean, yeah, you're paying a percentage of rent that you normally would be. So say it's $2,000, 4 ways, everyone's paying $500. It allows people to save up funds. Allows them to be in an environment which they know they can communicate like adults. They can still do dumb things, right? Like drinking till 4 a.m. But like, they're able to, be adults. They're able to be around other people who are fairly responsible, well-reasoned, right? And at the end of the day, there's not really any sort of commitment. It's like you're in a relationship or anything like that. And like people come back and they're like, oh my God, this Kip guy actually makes sense. And I'm like, wow, dude, I have a lot of L takes. Sometimes I have some good ones. Bro. Dude, living situations have got me foobarred, I swear.
Fortunately, it takes a lot of time, coordination, and resources to try and figure out an entirely new place to move a giant friend group of people. So we've essentially soft-locked ourselves here until we can all agree it's time to get out of here. I'll give LA some credit. The main thing that makes it great is the fact that everything is always happening here. There's always some sort of fun event going on. Concerts, tours, tours, random pop-ups. I went to a live screening of the season 2 finale of Severance where the cast got to talk about it afterwards, and that was one of the coolest experiences of my life so far. You name it, it is happening in California. Truly, you will never be bored here if you're always looking for something to do, and I recognize that is incredibly valuable. But at the same time, it means there's always tourists visiting, and Los Angeles is a very disgusting city for tourists to visit. It smells like pee all the time. The tourist trap areas are so trashy. There's constant crowds everywhere you go. When it rains, the pee smells even worse. Every once in a while, I need to go into the city for some reason or another, and those are bad days. Also, if you want to see all these cool
I loved it even better because my sister also provided context that she doesn't go much throughout the local area, which are higher crime rates. So, yeah, if she has to go into certain areas, it's definitely infrequent, it sounds like.
things, you don't have to live in California to begin with. In fact, living here only desensitizes me to all the awesome stuff constantly around. Back when I first moved, I was really close to Disneyland, and for the entire 2 years I spent over there, I only went to the alleged happiest place on earth a single time because of a friend's birthday. That's more of a personal experience though. I know plenty of people who have yearly passes to Disney or Universal who go to them all the time. But for me, I always just think, I can go there anytime, so maybe later.
Dude, I feel this though. I don't know. I feel my money would be much better spent going international. So I need to renew my SCA membership because I totally forgot to. I need to renew that because as far as I'm aware, I think Europe is just one giant chapter. So there's nothing stopping me because I'm authorized to fight in the SCA. Like I'm authorized to spar with rapiers because I know how to not, just run somebody through with a rapier, right? Like I have some brain cells in my head. I could go over to Germany and go play with the SCA over there. I can be finally the least German person at a fighting practice. That would be an experience, okay? I crave to have the German who also sword and boards in rapier to walk right through me. That man and I are going to be friends. Or that woman and I are going to be very good friends. And then it's just like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm done being in Germany. I go to France or whatever, right? Go to the SCA chapters there. Hi, I am from the US. I wish to spar with the Frenchman. Dude, that right there is more fun to me than any proposal you could ever make for like Disneyland.
And then later is multiple years. I consider it a privilege to be able to live in LA. It's expensive. A lot of people dream of coming here and making it big. And if you can afford it, you can definitely live luxuriously. But I am just really not built for all that. I grew up in a tiny desert town with like no people in it and prefer to be holed up in my house 90% of the time watching YouTube until my brain is mush.
Maxwell.
However, as much as I want to uproot everything again to live somewhere else less expensive and more compatible with my preferred lifestyle, I do think LA is a good place for me to be right now. Both the YouTube and animation industry are here. I don't need to travel for most of the events I get invited to. And content creators are always visiting for something or another.
I think that's a big issue with me because there's a couple other creators I've come across. Some guy was reviewing Starlink Business, and he was up in northern Idaho. But it's like, bro, what other content creator, what other person do you know that's from Idaho? Not necessarily just VTuber, right? Like, when was the last time I almost said Shane Dawson? He hasn't been relevant how many years? Oh my god. When's the last time you heard some other VTuber from Idaho? When's the last time you heard, of a Maxor or a Russian Badger or anybody from Idaho, right? I feel it's a very barren community for this kind of thing.
So I get to meet a lot of fellow creator friends. I can't say anywhere else in the world can offer all these benefits that specifically apply to me right now. And it's also just a lot of fun. I might not exactly like it, but LA is my home for at least the next few years, and I do get to have a lot of fun here with my friends.
That's
it's
awesome.
A toxic relationship, I suppose, but I'm sure in a decade when I'm somewhere else and reminiscing on the past, I'll have very fond memories of it all. So I can complain all I want while I'm here, but deep down, I know California has been such a huge part of the most defining years of my life, and I'll hold a very special place for it in my heart for a long time. LAX and the drivers are just excluded from it, though. I'll hate those parts forever.
I posted a little video, but if you missed it, we're selling Tostada merch for the first time ever because everyone begged and pleaded for it. Please go check it all out. I think everything turned out so silly and good, and she's only available until September 7th. And here's a picture of her for the people who stayed till the end of the video.
Amazing.
Okay, bye-bye.
Amazing. The last couple bits of wisdom my sister ended up sharing me about the video when I sent it to her. California also land splitting still legal. I have the verbatim. I don't know what that necessarily means. So you have motorcycles on the lines, which is scary when the 6-lane freeways weren't made right. So the width of the lane doesn't fit cars normally anyways. Look, I'll go visit California. Okay, I would 100% go and visit, especially for aforementioned reasons. Clarel's and Duarte, Tops Chili Cheese Dogs. I would 100% go, but I would not stay. The state will not reclaim me. And who knows where I'll end up? Who knows? But thank you, Jaiden Animation, and the rest of the animation team for making just such an amazing video. This was honestly really fun to watch. I definitely added way too much to this. And thank you, everyone, for watching as well. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you found this comedic, insightful, hilarious in some capacity. And I will see you all in the next one.